That's all I need. I just need your beeps. I just need your beeps. That's all I want.
You've reached the Lousy Show with Joe and Sam. Please leave your name, number, and a brief message at the beep. Beep.
You know, that's underrated these days. Is a good quality voicemail message,
dude.
You know.
Yeah,
and I know you agree, Joe.
Yes. Well, it's a still of the person you have reached is not available at this time, or your voicemail is not set up. Please try again later.
Just anyway, we're off on a tangent already. We're
rambling.
Anyway,
we were just talking about this.
Yep.
Yes. Welcome back.
Welcome back
to the Lousy Show.
To the Lousy Show.
You know what? Okay, so I'm going to say this, and I know y'all heard the voice. Future Sam probably hasn't put him on the screen yet because we like to keep it mystery, mysterious. But I've actually been looking forward to having this guest on the show because he's a very, very good friend of mine. We've had a lot of great, just personal conversations, business conversations. I would personally say, especially in like the content world, he is a brilliant mind. And I like the first person when Sam and I talked about bringing guests back on the show, I was like, him.
Yep.
Full stop.
Literally no gap. He was just like,
yep. So excited to get to that. But before we do that, we hope you all have been having a lovely weekend. We hope you all are enjoying your November. It's crazy to believe that we're already in November.
Yeah. It's a birthday month.
As always. It is.
Happy birthday month. Just real quick. Sorry.
Yes. No, I appreciate it. That, I'm sure you know what, the next podcast episode, you know what, I'll, who knows what we could do for birthdays. So, cause I think actually, as a matter of fact, the next one that comes out after this is the week of my birthday.
Probably. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to think that hard.
Well, this comes out on the 12th, and then the 19th. Yeah. And my birthday's 3 days after that. So. Mm-hmm. Turned a big 3-3 baby.
Hey, 33.
Yeah. 33.
33. I don't know what that means. But
I don't either. It's a number and I'm hurting.
Yeah.
But all that to be said, in celebration of November being my birthday month, of Thanksgiving, of whatever the fuck you want it to be, subscribe. Like the video.
For us. Anyway, we have to talk about something before we introduce our great guest.
Very important, yes. And as you all know, it's time for an ad read.
Ad read. What?
Yes, as you all know, we are partnered with Into the AM.
We're so and
we actually got some news that we've been teasing for you all over the last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. It's November.
That's right.
You know what that means.
It means we get to punch grannies for TVs.
Thanks Into the AM for sponsoring this segment of the show.
That's right. It's the spirit of Black Friday, y'all. Into the AM is celebrating Black Friday and Cyber Monday with a dope deal. That is, you are able to get up to 60% off site-wide. And Sam, what else do they get to do?
So, as always, if you use our code LOUSY at checkout, you get an additional 10% off on top of that. So that's 70%. That's a lot.
That's a sexy number.
That's almost free. It's not quite.
Yes.
It's definitely not, but it's almost there. So
yes. And what can you get? It's simple. You can get shirts like this, dope branded tees. You can get dope hoodies. You've seen the graphic tees we wear, the pants, underwear, the draws that Sam doesn't show you.
Maybe one day.
I mean, the sky's the limit. I actually went out on date night with my wife this past weekend. And I was rocking my Into the AM beanie, baby.
And this is a great way to keep it concise, like I said at the start of the show. So.
That's it.
Yep. But no, that is.
So you can get everything you want and more from the site. Sam was talking. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, up until it's from tomorrow when you guys are seeing this, up until December 8th is the sale.
That's right.
So
that's right.
Make sure to check it out. Get some dope shit.
Yep.
That's it.
And as always, join the Discord, link down in the description. All you have to do is click the link, join in, and you can share what dope items you purchase from the shop. But make sure you go to intotheam.com/lousy. Again, what does it say?
Intotheam.com/lousy.
Link in the description and in the pinned comment. And have fun. Go buy some holiday gifts or buy you something pretty.
And use our code.
Yes, use our code. Tell them the Lousy Show sent you. Okay.
Anyway, we have a guest.
We do have a guest.
Yep. Who is it, Joe? You do the intro.
I don't. What?
You don't know. He's just a stranger. We just invited him. We just pulled a random person.
Showed up in our call.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yes. So allow me to introduce. I love doing introductions because I love the pomp and circumstance that comes with it. I love that epic build up, right? And it just gets everybody hyped. So without further ado, Future Sam, I need some like epic, like non-copyright battle music right here. Okay. And 3, 2, 1. Our guest today is an icon. He's a champion amongst men. You can find him crushing Call of Duty, NCAA college football. What is it? How many other games does he play? Oh my God, he play everything. Let's see. He's kicked my ass in a few other games actually. Was it Content Warning or something that I've actually got to participate with him on? You become a variety streamer of all sorts, so I'm not even going to try and actually say all the games you play. But you can also catch him on YouTube, where he likes to post really high-quality videos, dude. Like, I'm talking top-tier Hollywood-level videos. If you love college football, that's where to check it out. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the absolute legend, Buckeye.
Woo!
Appreciate you. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. You had me at punching the grandmas. I'm not gonna lie. I was in. I was like, this is. I don't know how I got here. Yeah. I don't know how I got here. I just kind of like. I don't know. I just kind of appeared here.
We just lured him in with some candy, and he was just here. It was crazy. Like,
hey, get in the truck. I was like, oh,
it's a van, no windows.
See. Anyways, Sam became a changed man after he went out west.
I mean,
okay. Hey, no judgment here. Yeah. There's no judgment here, but nah.
What is it? At this point, you fought off the homeless. You fought off cougars. You've
couple raccoons. I don't think I showed you that one, but there's a couple raccoons at my doorbell camera. I'll send you the video afterwards. Actually, I'll post in the Discord, link in the description.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to interview you. No,
okay. I promise it's not as interesting as it sounds.
Sam leads a double life that no one knows about.
Yep.
Even to this day, I still get small tidbits here and there, and I just don't ask questions.
FBI is going to show up at your house and start asking you questions. You're going to be like, I should do a podcast with him.
He's just unhinged, sir. I don't know what to say.
Pictures are going to show up in the Discord of me strapped to this chair, and I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know.
It's just going to say, if the FBI doesn't leave, he gets it.
Oh, that's great.
Anyway.
Well, let's dive in because in Lousy Show fashion, as you all know, we're never fucking prepared for these. Ever. We've had so many episodes where we'll come in with a topic and suddenly we're just like, you know what? Fuck the topic. Let's talk about this.
Yep.
But before we started, we actually said, you know what? Let's actually have a plan. And I think today's episode will offer two different demographics, a nice tantalizing meal of content.
Ooh.
And so yeah, look,
love the word choice.
Put on some lace doilies, and just,
That's how'd you know that was my primary wardrobe? That's crazy.
I mean, you have a picture of my ass hanging above your bed, so
yeah, my wife's
I made it the right place. Let's go.
A little mad about it. But
I'm still waiting for the day that we make a piece of merchandise that's just me and you, butt naked, Burt Reynolds style on a bearskin rug. It would sell.
So, man, this is a crazy time to announce my departure from the Lousy Show. I know you guys are going to miss me, but it's, I think it's for the best.
I'm glad we finally found the line in the sand.
I thought he was leaving. I thought he was leaving. He's like, all right, I'm starting my OF. I'm done.
We found our already started.
If
I don't get a link after this whole thing was a shame.
Anyway.
We demand for everybody at home. Like I said, Buckeye, you are a longtime content creator. You started your venture in Twitch, I believe, correct?
Right.
And then you channeled your energy over into YouTube as well. Why don't you tell the people a little more about yourself? Tell them, as far as one, who you are, where can they find you, what do you do, and give us 2 cool facts about yourself that no one will know about.
Yeah. So, it's not spelled the typical way, Buckeye. Some people say I've heard it all. l3uck3y3, Lucky, you name it, I've heard it. But it's l3uck3y3. You can find me on YouTube, Twitch. I do have a Kick. Haven't been on it, in a while. Twitter, pretty much every social media platform under the sun, I've got it. And that's just l3uck3y3. For me, man, the start was a little bit probably not like everyone else. I feel like everybody in 2020 kind of like jumped in and said, hey, I'm at home. For me, it was kind of, I was watching Tim the Tap Man, and my dad's like, what is this? And I was explaining it to him. He's like, why don't you like attempt this? It's like, I've got a speech impediment. I don't have a computer. I don't have anything. I literally just had an Xbox. And he's like, what? Just try it. I was living with my parents at the time. We had my son, so we were saving up to, buy a house before the housing market went to shit. So I thought about it. I was up late like one night, and then I reserved everything. And I was like, all right, well, I've reserved everything. Talked to the wife, bought a computer, and at that point, the rest was history. So I've been doing it since 21, play a wide variety of games, but I seem to fall back on the same ones, COD, Fortnite are like the 2 that I always rotate in and out of. Big horror game guy. I'm not actually, but my community loves it. I don't know why. Maybe because I scream. And then, big into college football 25. Now that that's kind of come out, that's where the YouTube and really is starting to be pushed on that. But, yeah, and then been finding these random games like what's this one? Trading card shop simulator.
Oh,
I'm addicted.
That thing's blowing up.
I'm addicted. Crazy. But 2 facts about me. So I went to 13 schools from kindergarten to 12th grade. So
just a different one every year, or
it averaged out that way, but there were periods where I was there for a few years. I think the most I stayed at one school was 3 years, but but junior to senior year I went to 3 schools in 1 year.
Damn.
So
that's crazy.
Did that, and then what? Another fun fact, kind of sticking with the school thing. I failed kindergarten the first time.
I mean, kindergarten's really hard, even by modern standards.
Hold on,
right?
How?
Well, they started me early. I was 4, and they said I didn't have the social skills. Imagine that. Didn't have the social skills, and then here I am being social on the internet.
It's funny you say that. I was actually just talking to a friend. I think it was literally probably a week or 2 ago. And we were talking about like looking at jobs now, right? And the requirements to getting jobs elsewhere, and how like a lot of places that I was explaining to him, like me being in the digital marketing field that I'm in outside of us doing this, a lot of places for me to go anywhere else require to get a bachelor's degree.
Mm-hmm.
And I explained to him that I actually once upon a time, went to community college, and I thought I actually failed my first semester. And that is because I thought ping pong was more important than going to class.
It was.
100%. But the funny part about that is I'm on academic suspension. And if I go back, I have to go all the way back out east to that community college to attend classes there for 2 classes.
What?
And the ironic part is one of those classes is public speaking. I think I got that in the bag, but
I feel like they need a Zoom version for that kind of scenario.
Right.
Like they better, especially after
classes.
Yeah, especially after COVID 2020, a lot of people did everything online, just like what we're doing now. And so like that better be an option if you decide you want to, of course. Like, of course, if you don't want to, fuck it. I'm saying deuces to college personally, but
I can actually tell you as of, let's see, this is, as of recording, this is November 3rd, 2024. As of the last time I checked was March, probably like 14th or 15th of 2024. They did not have that available.
I mean, it is the community college where we grew up, which is rather podunk, we'll say.
Where education comes second to football. So like, you know, it was.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, well, they have the priorities straight.
Well, it's crazy. I was a comms guy in school, and then said, "Oh, I'm never going to do anything with this. I'll switch to, finance." It's funny. I'm drifting right back to, communications.
Yep.
And it's just weird. It's just weird how it works, man. I've gotten out of college, and look, man, college, I think you need a higher level of education, whatever it is, college, trade school, certifications, whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you. College is a scam.
Mostly.
It's a
like
scam.
the entire
All
system
right,
is set up to be there.
We found our topic for today.
It's a scam, dude. It's a fucking scam.
Yeah.
Oh my God. It's a fucking scam.
Yeah. That's something I actually, I would love to talk about this, because this is something that, and in the comments, as we always tell y'all, like, let us know your thoughts on this, because I know this is a very like heated debate in most circumstances.
In a wad. So crazy.
But like, and I'm finding more and more that the people who try to like fight for school are the ones who are in school right now and don't necessarily want to believe that what they're doing is a scam. Like, I do believe that if you want to go into certain fields, it is necessary to have some semblance of knowledge of that field. And you could do that through certifications that you can get for $1,200. Like, you could save that up over the course of a few months, go get your certificate, boom, that's now attached to your resume, and companies gonna be like, oh shit, you actually know exactly what we need. Cool, come on in. Right. Like, and a lot of companies will supersede the requirement of a bachelor's or master's degree based on the level certificates that you have. And you can do an undergrad certificate or a graduate level certificate. I don't know if they still do doctoral level certificates. I know once upon a time, the school I worked for did, but it was like 2 of them.
Yeah.
And that typically meant you were leading into like a PhD level
they
program.
Probably do. They're just probably really niche and extremely rare, because like I'm just trying to, my wife's going for her doctorate right now, but I can't think of any like specific certifications that she mentioned or anything.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well,
I'm not quite sure.
I mean, for me, look, I mean, you definitely want to go to college for engineering, medicine, law, government, like, if you want to be a judge or, look, like that stuff, definitely. But marketing, you don't need a degree for that.
Nope.
You don't need it to be a sports writer or a broadcaster or anything in media. You don't need a degree.
Yep.
You just need to know how to do it. And half these people learn better by teaching themselves anyways. Because all the stuff you learn in school was outdated by the time you're out anyways.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing that I've found is like you learn something and then in 6 months it could be completely out the window.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, that's where I'm at. And then you have to go and learn like English and math. I mean, I was in finance, so math was important. But like, there's just so much of that stuff like you don't need. That's just their way of just getting you for 2.5 years of just pointless shit.
Yeah. I kind of wish they had like an a la carte system to where, like if you wanted to get like an engineering degree, fuck the English stuff. Fuck the history. Like, yeah, sure, it's all cool to, like, I personally love learning history, but you don't need it. Like, it's like, get the stuff that you need. Don't waste the money on all the bullshit, which, some people would argue that the college part is also like a social experience, right? Which I get that for some people, but some people don't want that. Some people just want that in and out. Get me the fuck out of here. I don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I had too much fun at times.
Yeah. And that was us. That was ping pong. Like we were playing the shit out of ping pong. I would beat his ass in ping pong every fucking day at school. And I still can't. I'm
I
putting
ain't
money
gonna
on
lie,
it.
Sam. While you were saying that, I can't wait for you to see what I just did to my screen.
Oh no.
I had to configure one thing real quick, and suddenly my mouse was like, "No, you're going to attach this now," and my camera went, "Wee." No, I firmly agree that like you do need some level of knowledge, and like to the marketing effect or like the communications effect, things like that. Like the three of us can safely say, especially with the things that we do, because like all three of us have had some sort of streaming background and also some sort of YouTube background, something where the microphone's in our face and we have to do public speaking. We have to provide the communications. We have to do marketing for our own channels. We have to XYZ different levels of things and understanding trends. If you can understand basic analytical values and learn UIs, user interfaces, for anybody out there who doesn't understand the term, then you can easily grasp the beginning steps of how to get into fields like YouTube, Twitch, even Kick. Like if you want to, like
that's a whole other topic.
It is a whole other topic.
We might dive into it. We'll see.
But like you can, if you just take that time to use that basic knowledge to continue your studies into things like this, you know, then along comes the idea of, I know a lot of content creators out there say like, you don't need some pro setup, but it does feel a lot more professional when you have a pro setup and understanding audio equipment and video equipment.
Misconception.
Like it's a tiered thing, in my opinion, almost like a tiered knowledge system where start at the beginning, understand the basics, and grow your way into the direction you want to go. Like you don't need to go to a 4-year college just to learn how to do that. And to your point, Buckeye, like a lot of people that I personally have spoken to don't use their degree. A lot of people are going to want to change their careers at some point, or they're going to, and you know, they may do it when they're 25, 30, 35, 40. It doesn't matter when. You may want to change your career that your degree isn't going to go to. And if you're in the same boat as a majority of, you know, the American people are who went to school, you're going to still be paying off that debt for a degree you're not using anymore. You know, like it's things of that nature that I find where if we were to be able to break out into these, like I said, certificate level programs to offer a niche variety, like, or each niche in a variety of setups to get you on the path into what you want to do. Imagine for a moment, you know, we'll take the marketing route. Let's say I come right out of high school and go, you know what? I really want to get into marketing. I like graphic design. I like being able to construct, you know, visual effects and things. So I want to get into marketing. Cool. Let me go do this, you know, 15 credit hour certificate. I'm going to attach that to my resume. Now companies are going to look at me because they realize not only do I have the, you know, the actual tangible experience and physical experience of doing it, but now I have the book smarts to prove that I can do it as well. Cool. Yeah. Let's fast forward 10, 15 years. I'm now in my 30s and I go, actually, I no longer want to do that. What I want to do is I want to go and open up my own, you know, I don't know, bakery. Cool. Well, I need some business smarts to do that. Let me go take a 15 or 20 or a 15 or 18 credit hour business certificate and get the knowledge I need based on current, you know, demographics. Most times you don't even have to do that. And honestly, it may be a poor example, but you get the point. Like if you had that niche setup, it would make a lot more sense in the long term. So that way each avenue is covered. And I feel like you would have a lot more students ready to go to school because it's not this 4-year requirement at the age of 18 when you're coming right out of having 18 years of school already, or not 18 years, but 12 years of school already. You have these 12 years that you've been doing literally every single year school, and then suddenly you're expected to go sign on to a 4-year college. That's a pretty big fucking step.
Yeah.
Whereas if you were to be presented at the age of 18 with, okay, here's what we're gonna do is 15 credit hours, you'll be done in 2 semesters, give it a year and at max, and then you can head off and go do what you want to do. Maybe even be able to lock in an internship or maybe a position that's going to help you continue pursuing that education. The sky's the limit when it comes to that. But I feel like that would allow so many more people the want, not necessarily the need, but definitely the want to grow into their education.
Well, and part of it too, I think they need to make high school harder. Like a lot of the stuff that you're learning in college, they could teach in high school.
Yep.
And it's in high school, just waste your time with a lot of like busy work.
Why am I learning about World War II for the 6th time?
Right. Like, let's move on, or at least get more in depth with it. Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'll be completely honest with you. Like, all the stuff I know how to do now, I've learned more from teaching myself than I ever did in school when it came to this stuff.
Yeah.
YouTube, dude, you just make mistakes, right? And a lot of what your teachers may think is not good actually might be good. It's just not the general accepted like product that they're used to like getting. So for me, like I've made 100 mistakes, thousands of mistakes on this stuff. And for people who are telling you, oh, you don't need a good setup to stream. Yeah, you do. You know, I hate you have your few people out there who have made it work, right? But if I get on to a YouTube video or a Twitch stream or a Kick stream, whatever, and you got a audio that sounds like a tin can, your camera is extremely pixelated, you know, those are the two big ones. If I can't see you and I can't hear you, well, my interest is gone. So that's one of those deals. Like I didn't realize when I go back and I watch old streams or old content, I just crack up and I'm like, nobody told me that I sounded like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is horrible.
I think that's the difference.
Oh my God.
With like, you know, yes, a good setup would be necessary, but a good setup also buys you the time to kind of develop the personality aspect of it. Because like we'll take like our quesos and our, you know, Jinxies, for example, you know, they don't have like the fanciest setups or anything when they were first getting big. You know, they're just fucking yelling at a microphone and like, you know, just doing shit that's funny. And people, you know, definitely vibed with that. And then, you know, so they had the personality part already in, right? But for the people that kind of need to develop that a little bit and kind of get that public like public speaking practice, you know, having a good setup will at least buy you the time to kind of try that a little bit. You know, I think that helps a little.
I feel like a good streaming setup is like, you guys are going to laugh. And it's kind of like, if you're not a good looking person, you got to work on your personality, you know, right? Because that's the only way you're going to get, you know, that's where you're going to get seen and make friends. It's not because how you look, but then you get some money.
Hold on, before you continue, to the large demographic of ladies that we have that watch this show.
This is strictly towards men. This is towards men.
We need you to know. This is three dudes talking about dudes.
I'm speaking in direct relation to guys. I'm not speaking to the ladies out there.
Look, the lousy listeners are ruthless, dog. If you want to know, I have never been checked harder in my life until I put myself in front of these folks. Everybody at home, and we love the lousy listeners. We love the ladies and the dudes and the non-binary pals of the entire crowd. But I'm going to tell you right now, we get checked fucking hard, dog. So just letting y'all know before you try and crucify our guest.
You can attack me in the comments. I'm fine. But I'm serious. It's like, you know, this is the perfect example, right? Matt Rife. Okay. This perfect example. He says it all the time. God. He was ugly. Like puberty didn't hit him until he was like 21. You know what I mean? So he had to work on his personality just like this, right? You work on your personality. And then when you start getting some money put back, then you start getting, you know, the nice teeth, better haircut, better clothes, gym membership, and then now you're the complete package, you know? So it's just, that's where I tell people is like, yeah, you don't need a good setup to start, but like your goal needs to be like trying to replace one thing at a time to where, you know, after a year and a half, you go, okay, now I'm good. Yeah. Like you're always going to want stuff, but like now you got something. If somebody came in, they look at this and go, okay, you've put in the time and effort to give me a product.
I'm gonna say something that's really gonna okay. Buck, I'm the neighborhood contrarian. And everybody at home knows this.
Except for the people that quit after the first post and Am I the Asshole.
Valid.
That was funny.
But I'm gonna say this. And it's going to be really divisive, I believe, to anybody out there who does content. After my stint in doing it, and I think you might agree with me on this, though. there needs to be a reformation in streaming, because not everyone should be a streamer. Much like not everyone's cut out for YouTube. Not to say you can't learn it, but the amount of people, and I know, Buck, you and I have talked about this. The amount of people who have reached out to me personally, and I know that have reached out to you as well, other folks as well, who always ask the age-old question: "Oh my God, how do you get the views, man? How are you doing so well? How are you?" Right? I want to literally just take my headphones off and start choking myself with them, because
it's ridiculous.
You're looking at it through the wrong lens. When I started, and this is way back when, and Sam and I have mentioned before that he and I were part of a show called The Gaming Bunch. When we did that and I left in 2021, I did so with the intent of me pursuing something that I felt like I needed to go do. So I started streaming. For Sam, you can attest this. For the entire month leading up to the day I started, I was constantly going over overlays, swapped them out in and out multiple times, constantly making updates or creating and making updates to a new Discord server, constantly talking to it about other friends who are in the space, like trying to rally the troops to really set it off with a bang, constantly double checking audio and making sure that the setup I had was correct for what I needed, running a very professional style stream system, taking the time to invest not only my money, but my time into what I was doing. So that way, when I hit the ground running, much like with this show, when we hit the ground running, there was no question we felt good about the product we were producing, and the viewership could resonate with that and see, oh shit, this isn't some schmuck of a channel. This is a professional doing what professionals do.
Yep.
There are so many people who think they can just strap on a fucking headset and fire up fucking Call of Duty, and they think they're going to be the next Jinxie. They think they're going to be the next Ninja or Kai Cenat or who the fuck ever streamer you want to say that's big right now. No, it takes so much more than that to build yourself to that point. I know of plenty other content creators who are well above and beyond many of the channels that I've seen, who even say to this day, the amount of time and effort and investment they put into that channel is finally showing dividends years later.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, people look at, I mean, look, there are anomalies. You got your Jinxies, you got your Quesos, those are anomalies.
Yes.
Right. Like, they scored big quickly and then they capitalized off of it. They had the personalities, to your point earlier, they had the personalities already.
Yes.
They just needed somebody to see them. What people don't realize is it's not easy. Most people will do this for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Mr. Beast is a perfect example. I know he's, kind of taboo at the moment, but still, like, he did videos forever.
Yeah.
No views. A lot of these people that are big today, they got no views for years, and then they started to figure it out. And the thing that kills me is, yes, you want to get your stream in a good spot or whatever your primary source is, but you have to be critical, and you have to go back and you have to watch your streams and you have to go, okay, hey, I didn't talk for an hour. Like, what am I doing? I didn't interact. Or when they do YouTube, this is the big one. This is the big one that drives me crazy. Oh, I'm not getting views. I can't hit the algorithm. YouTube hates me. No, it's not. YouTube supplies you with everything to succeed. And it's like,
preach.
You want to know what works? Go look at people who are successful. I cannot tell you how much I have studied other content creators in my niche, outside of my niche. I mean, look at the thumbnails are the ones that get me the most. They use text this big. They don't blow anything up. And I'm like, if I'm looking at this on my phone, it just looks like a blob. You use like, oh, I got a 32 kill game, and that's your title. That's not going to get searched. Or when you do this, when you click on the video, there's no hook, there's no nothing. Like there's nothing. It's just a screen share of them on stream. And it's like, yes, that works for Tim the Tap Man. That works for Nick Merckx. Why? Because they've got an established audience. Whether you guys want to believe it or not, they could shit in a cup and they're going to get 1 million views.
Oh, way more than that.
Yeah. We're not going to get that. I'm going to get 2.
Yeah.
And
then you're going to get banned.
Right. And for me, it's like, quit looking at, I always say like what Tim the Tap Man, Queso, Nick Merckx, Ninja, those top guys, those are not people that you need to look at. Obviously, look at their titles, look at the thumbnails, because those are top notch, but go down a level, go to your mid tier, and look at those. Those are people coming up with great ideas, which, by the way, a lot of these streamers and content creators are taking because they know they're great ideas.
That's 99% of it is just content stealing.
Right. And it's fine. But look at those mid tier. Those are the people who put in work into the hook, the storytelling, the flow. Those are the people that you need to emulate yourself after. And people just do it and they just mindlessly upload and they're like, well, I quit because I'm not getting any views. And I know somebody in the comments is probably going to look at me and look me up and go, oh, well, Buck, you're not doing I'm not there yet, but I feel like for my limited following that I have, I think I've done pretty well.
I think you can measure success in a bunch of different ways. It's not necessarily just like, yeah, I get 1 million views, or, I have 300,000 people watching me right now. It's going to be like, especially at the early stages, you need to kind of build up that audience. And so like, having that consistent audience, especially, can really help you drive up to the larger numbers later on. So that's the target you need to get, is that initial group of people that are going to be your ride or dies, our lousy listeners, for example. So shout out.
We love y'all.
Yep.
Well, and that's something I want to comment on too, that establishment is very important. But I think that one thing a lot of people don't want to admit, especially in the content creation field, is, I'm going to echo Buck's point and really bring that one home. It's not fucking easy. There are countless days that I know I personally can account for where I will sit here and I'll go, what am I missing? What piece of this puzzle do I need to make this pop off? Whether it's a YouTube video, whether it's, a stream, whether it's a fucking Instagram post or a TikTok, what am I missing? And a lot of the viewership out there, especially in the streaming world, who want that instant gratification. But on the flip side of that, the new streamers who think that, oh, well, I saw them do it, so now I can just hit the go live button and I'm going to suddenly have 500,000 viewers watching me. What you don't recognize is the people who have been doing it to really have a profession in it and really continue growing that mass over time. The amount of stress, anxiety, heartache, fucking headaches, like, over making sure that their product is absolutely perfect. Because when you care about the product, that shows in your production. That shows in the value that you're giving to your viewers. We've all touched on the importance of professional equipment, the importance of a professional look, which I think we all agree on both of those fronts. The importance of being able to actually find what you need, like what your niche is. Like for us with the Lousy Show, like we Sam and I sat down for, what was it, months? Just workshopping ideas of what we wanted to do with this show. And it wasn't until like one night we were finally like, let's call it the Lousy Show. At one point, we were like the lazy show. No, lazy sounds like. Well,
I think I had made a joke. It was like, God, it's such a shitty show. Like, and
literally,
and
it was like we went.
Yeah.
like,
wait, what's a synonym for shitty? We can't call it shitty. What's that?
But it makes sense when you put it together, like with the branding. Like we hit that out the park because it's a joke we always have running on the show of like it's our scapegoat. Like, well, we're not the great show. We're not the good show. Sometimes we get it wrong. But our viewership resonates with that because they recognize that yes, we are two ordinary dudes who have microphones and love to talk. And with the gift of gab, we can come up with some, subpar jokes that might make you giggle a little bit. But the retention of viewership shows that what we're doing works. We found our niches. We found the podcast works well because it's not an everyday conversation that, or excuse me, the same conversation every day. It is an everyday conversation that could turn in any different direction and offer a variety of knowledge or allow us to learn in the process things that we may not know. Yep. And then we have, of course, our Reddit readings with Tifu and Am I the Asshole, which is just great. I mean, truth be told, like I have background filler on of that stuff on the weekends. Like, I'll be listening while I'm cleaning the fucking house. It's great to listen to. Gives you some good chuckles. Might even raise the blood pressure a little bit. But
it might.
All that, Yeah. All that to say, finding that niche to build into your product. It's not for everyone. It's not just, well, let me just hit the record button real quick and slap something together. And that's, Buck, that's why I love your content so much because, and this is something like you and I, this is why I love the friendship you and I have because we go back and forth on like, hey, how'd that look? Like, what do you think of this? Because it allows us to hear an outside feedback from a niche that we're not working in.
Especially peer review just overall is really good for you. Like regardless what field you're in, like talk to your coworkers, your peers, your friends, anybody that's in an even similar circumstance and just be like, hey, any pointers, any ideas.
But you gotta find friends who can be brutally honest with you.
Brutal. Yeah. You need to be like, that was shit.
And that's where some of my friends will, I can look at it and I'm like, you're not honest enough.
Yeah.
I need you to tear this apart. I want you to almost get me to a point where I feel like I need to restart because there's so many things that I missed. And that's the thing. To me, I look at content that I produce. I mean, even in the college football realm right now, I watch other creators. I'm like, okay, I like how you're editing. If I sat my stuff up next to yours, would it be comparable? I may not have the following yet that you have to get a lot of the traction there early, but like, can I hang my hat on this and go, if I get 2 views or 1 million, am I going to be happy with how this looks? And there's been some videos I've put out that have been absolute dog shit in terms of views, but I'm like, I'm happy with it. And then there's some that pop off that I go, yeah, that's not my best work at all, but somehow I guess it got put in the algorithm. Don't really understand why. And what ends up happening is some of those shitty ones kind of push to the ones that are really good, and then that's when you start seeing things exponentially grow in this. And it's tough. It's really hard when you spend 15, 20 hours editing one singular video and then you look at it and go, that's the best I could do. Yeah. All right, well, we're gonna post it and get better, the next time. And it's the constant need or desire to improve after every piece of content you put out.
Yep.
I think that's one of the biggest pieces of advice that you could give any content creator. You made mention of it way early on in the episode here, but if you can't go back and watch your own content, why would anybody else watch your content? If you can't go back and analyze what you've done, and it could be on the cutting room floor, it could be after post-production, it could be, months down the road. But if you can't go back and watch your own content, why would someone else go watch your content? If you don't enjoy what you put out, why would somebody else enjoy what you put out?
Exactly.
There has to be truth be told, there has to be a level of pride in what you put out.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah.
because you have to be proud of the product you're putting out. Like you wouldn't go make a t-shirt out of fucking paper and be like, this is the greatest fucking thing ever. I can't wait for someone to wear it, especially after they fucking tear it. Crazy. Like, you know, you're going to go like, okay, well, if I'm going to make clothing, I want to find the best fabric possible and the best designs possible. And I want to like into the AM, like, you know, it's true. Like you want to find the best product, no matter the niche you're in.
Right.
It was a shameless plug. That was, look, that was smooth.
That was
I'm
good.
just going to tap myself on the back real quick.
Yeah,
Like,
keep learning. Yeah.
But I also want to say this, and this is more specific to the streaming world. And Buck, this is something you told me months ago. And this has resonated with me both on the streaming side, but also on the YouTube side, for the importance of being able to provide a product to the viewer that they would want to, that you're trying to retain, that you want them to continue watching. And especially in the streaming world, what would you say your average stream runtime is?
I've tried my best to shorten it. But I would say like 3 to 4 hours tops.
The line you told me. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. It's 3 to 4, but you know, if it's definitely a game or, you know, chat's, you know, invested and we're having a good time, you know, I would say like 6 hours is like the absolute most that I'll do, unless if it's some like special occasion. But yeah, 3 to 4.
Yeah.
Tops.
One of the things you told me is stuck with me. And it's the hardest pill to swallow. And if you're a content creator out there, whether it's streaming or YouTube streaming even, no one will watch you for 3 hours. Period.
Very rarely, at least.
They may have their the channel open, they may have you tabbed up, but no one will watch you for 3 hours.
It's hard, man.
When you do YouTube content, and this is one of the things I love about you made mention about the tools you're provided, especially on the YouTube side, that you're set up for success.
Oh yeah.
One of the things that I love about it is there's this beautiful graph that shows you how many, or the percentage of viewership retained throughout the video. Even in YouTube, not everyone's going to watch a 30-minute video. They're going to get bored after 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or the kids are going to start crying, or they got to go make dinner, or they got to go to work, or. Mm-hmm. But the beautiful part about making such an immaculate product is if you hook that viewer, and I know we've all done it, if you hook that viewer where they're in the middle of a video and they go, shit, I got to run, I got to go take care of this. Mm-hmm. They are going to come back. If the product is that good, they're going to come back and finish watching what they started. It's just like a movie on Netflix. Yeah, you might stop it halfway through.
YouTube video ever.
But it's true. If you hook them well enough, they will come back and they will finish that video. Yep. And that is retention to continue getting them to watch other videos and other streams. Mm-hmm. That is where so many people are lacking today, is the quality. And I know that's very funny to say from a channel called The Lousy Show, but if people focus so much on their quality and every aspect of their quality, you know, and I have to ruthlessly agree, your image, your audio engineering studies, your video engineering studies, your actual like niche that you're in, how you edit, like every step of it, if people took the time to focus that in the content world, both on streaming and on video, you would see, in my personal opinion, a massive boom of great content and great content creators, and seeing a lot of people getting bigger because people are actually recognizing quality over quantity, or quality over, you know, the now. So.
Right. I mean, and what people have to understand too is when I say good editing, you don't have to produce all these fancy graphics and all this stuff that boom, boom in your face. Be able to storytell effectively. you can use minimal cuts, very simple cuts. Your text can be very basic. It doesn't have to be anything wild. Like hone that in as you go, but that's not going to affect your views on that video if you use simple editing. Look, I use CapCut.
That's what
I'm
we
a
use. Yeah.
CapCut pro guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I use. It's evolved over time. CapCut was not the same as it was
It's gotten
2.5
so
years
much
ago.
better.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And for me, if you're a beginner, it's great. And then to me, dude, I can't switch. I know all the ins and outs of this. I know what to do. Is there some things I'd like to learn and like After Effects and stuff like that? Yeah, sure. But that's not necessary.
No, and that's something that I found myself getting lost in when we were back in the gaming bunch. Is I had DaVinci Resolve, I had Adobe After Effects. You know, I was trying to create all these fancy things that were cool, and it was fun to learn it. But at the end of the day, we've simplified so much. You know that, like, you know, the stuff that we do is executed typically pretty well. Sometimes I fuck up, but you know, like, and CapCut really does a good job of explaining it, especially over DaVinci.
DaVinci's way too fun.
Yeah, once you learn it, you can do anything you want with it. But
oh yeah, you can make an Oscar cinema.
But
you know,
it's very complicated to learn. So that's a little tip: use CapCut. It's
I mean, it's very good. A lot of the effects and stuff, they do it for you. They're so, and they just keep adding. That's the other thing.
Yep.
A lot of the, like, that's going to be your one-stop shop. And it's one of those deals that we're kind of moving. So I was watching a podcast the other day and they were talking about the Mr. Beast era of just like boom, 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 explosions and high energy and all. People are drifting away from that. They want something that's casual that they can just watch and just relax. They don't,
and genuine.
They don't.
That's
right,
the biggest
genuine.
Thing.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing. And today's creators, man, they see what the top 001% are doing. And they're like, oh, there's a 50 kill game, or I'm just gonna have a video of me talking to my friends for 20 minutes. And I thought it was hilarious, but they don't know your friends. They don't know the context. They don't know these things. You have to create content first, create real, unique content, put it out, let them get to know you first. And then after you've put in years, then you can kind of, I wouldn't say get lazy, but at that point, you can post whatever and you're going to get 50, 70, 80, 100K views on stuff. But that may take a few years.
Yeah.
You got to grind now. And if I were to start over, truly start over, and go back to 2021 when I got everything, I wouldn't have went live for probably a year and a half. I would have just played, got used to me talking into a camera, making content, posting to TikTok, posting to YouTube, Instagram, and do that for a year and a half and then go. But you think you're going to be the next person, so you do it the hard way, and then you learn, oh shit, there was some validity in what these people were telling you, and you didn't listen. So now it's kind of like I'm wanting to stream less to then put out more content on YouTube to stream eventually way more.
I agree.
Couldn't agree more. And I think because I know we're approaching time very rapidly.
Yep.
I think the last thing I want to put in there, and I know this has kind of turned into like an unfortunate bashing of the lousy creators. Hey. But to the ones out there that are taking it serious and who actually want to make a jump into this field, I think I speak for all of us when I say this. The nervousness that you feel, the anxiety that you feel about posting that very first video, post it. Your first one, you may be the one in a million where that one video is going to fucking skyrocket you to the moon. Or you're going to be like the other 999,999 people. Just like us. Where that first video, it's going to get some views on it. And you're going to learn from the mistakes you made. And you're going to grow from that. And the next episode you put out is going to be even better. And then you're going to learn from the mistakes you made in that one and be even better. I challenge any creator. You could start fresh. Post that first video. Go find 5 things wrong with it. Correct those 5 things and make a second video. On the second video, 5 find things wrong with it. Fix them and make the third video. And do that and watch how quickly people will retain to your videos based on just seeing the small, detailed and even delicate changes you make based on the previous mistakes you made, to the point in which it becomes almost an afterthought. You don't have to worry about making those mistakes anymore.
100%.
It's not rocket science, but it does take work.
It does. And one of the things I want to tell people, like for me, when I stream, I know there's people who get anxiety before they hit the go live. They get super, super anxious. Like I had a stuttering problem. I still have it. I've gotten to the point where it doesn't bother me anymore. Like I just hit the button and go. Now for YouTube, I've had videos do well for me, getting 1,500, 2,000 views on a regular length. I've had 16,000 and 10,000. Like I've had that. And you have that success and you'll have it one video after another. You're on this hot streak of like, man, each one's a 1 out of 10. Each one's a 1 out of 10. This is incredible. It doesn't matter how many 1 out of 10s you have. You're still going to get anxious when you hit that post button, because you could do this and it could get 0 views. For streaming, I'm going to have my same 20, 30 people who come in. But for YouTube, I could get nothing. And that is what gets me, like, I almost have an anxiety attack every time I watch it 4 or 5 times just to make sure I didn't miss anything. That feeling never goes away. It never does.
But the only thing that trumps that is that beautiful success you feel when you see that one detonate.
Yeah.
Inject in my veins, dude.
It's such a surreal feeling, especially that TikTok of us that blew up, dude. Like, knowing 7 fucking million people have seen my fucking face is weird. Dude, it's such a weird feeling. Like, but it's
serotonin is just like, oh my God.
Yeah. Well, for me, there was immediate anxiety behind it as well. There was like, oh shit, that's a lot of fucking people. Like, what's going to happen when I walk out the door? And of course, nothing happens. Like, it was just a one-off. Like, it's not like I'm actually.
Imagine someone driving by your house like, it's Sam.
Yeah. If that happens, I will stop everything I'm doing and record that and shake that person's hand. So
it's funny, and it's I've only had one instance where somebody recognized me from TikTok.
Oh shit.
One time. And they went, I don't want to be weird, but is this you? And they flipped my TikTok around and I just went, yeah, that is. And I said, this is a very surreal moment. It hasn't happened again.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened again. But that was one of those moments where you're like, oh shit. Like, this isn't just a number that TikTok's putting on a screen to make me feel good. Like, these are legitimate people watching.
There are real people behind it.
No. You two go ahead and sit down. I get recognized all the time. Okay. Tim the Tap Man is an icon. Okay. And I'm sick of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I got called the dollar store Nick Merckx one time. That was probably the greatest compliment I ever got.
Jeez. I like the best one that anybody's ever called us was they called Joe Fat Jake Paul.
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
And that was early too. Yeah.
I can't unsee that. That's incredible. Oh my God. No way.
Yep.
That's crazy.
It's always him too. I don't know.
I get cooked all the time.
Never me.
We're just big personalities. They fucking.
They just or they think we're brothers all the time. But
I do love the one that I saw where the guy was like, "Yo, that guy's got a built-in spoiler into his hat."
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm just like, you know what? You're right. I have nothing. I have nothing on that. You're exactly right. So.
The internet's a magical place.
It is.
It really is.
It is.
Yep.
And it's caused awesome interactions like this, to where a few dudes can get on a Discord call and talk to you, and it's super fun.
Exactly right.
Thank you for watching if you do. So,
yes. Well, that is. I think that is a great place to to wrap it all up in a beautiful shiny bow. Before we go, one last time, of course you can go down in the description. You will find his links there. But Buckeye, in the words of Sean Evans, this camera, or this camera. Tell the people what you got going on in your life.
Oh man. Again, you guys can find me on Twitch and YouTube primarily. You'll see me on TikTok and Instagram, but it's all Buckeye l3uck3y3. Got a lot of good things coming down the stretch on the college football scene. Just some ideas of some stuff I've been putting out that we should have out here soon. But I feel like we're right on the cusp. So save this now, and in 6 months you're gonna go, oh, that's that guy.
That'll be dope.
I want to see in 6 months the growth pattern, because I feel like you're about to just so, because you put out some good shit, dude.
I'm gonna attribute to it all to this podcast right here.
Don't forget us little boys, okay?
Hey, you ain't little. That's for damn sure.
A lot of words to describe you, boy.
Little ain't one.
We appreciate y'all out there, the lousy listeners. We always love when y'all come through for us. Make sure to check out Buckeye. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video. We'll see y'all on Thursday. Bye.